Hello, class. As a wrap up to week 3, I wanted to discuss pain interventions a little bit more, as well as cover the Athlete Insider at the end of chapter 7. So let's take a look at the Athlete Insider first. So you've got Jada. She's that collegiate soccer player, and man, she's had a lot of injuries. It's just been injury after injury for her, and now she's struggling with pain, the sensation. If you've had any patients that have had a rod in their tibia, and had an experience of working with them. This sensation of a cold leg, that their leg is entirely cold, and then weather affecting that pain sensation, it's pretty common. So it seems like patient education in this case and taking the fear out of her pain are two really important intervention strategies. So education can actually do both of those. So lower that anxiety through knowledge about that piece of metal that's in her shin and how typically patients react to that. So Jada's not the only person that's experiencing this. Maybe connecting her with like peers. So research on social support suggests that peer support is more facilitative than a clinician attempting to provide that social support. So someone who can be empathetic with her, who's had that injury, if you can connect Jada with that, that would be a good intervention. As far as education, talking to her about good and bad pain, educating her on, this is the type of pain we might be playing with, and then making a decision from that point. Does she want to continue to play with that pain or not? But it's really important that Jada releases that pain and stops worrying about that or ruminating on replaying injuries in her head of, oh, this pain means that my fibula is going to snap again, or whatever it might be. She needs to be confident in her leg and in her leg performing underneath her, in order to not limit or increase her injury chance in the future. So remember that stress and that uncertainty, that anxiety for her is really going to increase her injury risk. So we need to manage that first and foremost before she returns to play in this case. So that's Jada and some of the intervention strategies I would suggest to help her along as a patient. As far as additional things for this week, you should be focusing on grabbing some of the tools that we talk about in the ways of inventories or apps to utilize with patients, to put in your patient toolkit that really helps you to treat the whole patient and not just the orthopedic aspect of recovery. So be mindful of that and be thinking about that as we move on to week 4. Think about looking at Lucid Chart as well. You're going to be using that. I would go ahead and get an account started, and that's under resources and getting started, as well as mentioned here in the conclusion to week 3. So as you prepare for week 4, which is patient education and communication styles, go ahead and get your account open with Lucid Chart and start thinking about those tools in your toolkit. Your lit review was due at the end of this week, so in a couple of days, and I'll go ahead and get feedback back to you. If I feel like you're missing anything, as far as there's a gap in your 10 articles, you definitely need to pick up 1 or 2 more on this. But if you've gotten that feedback from me already, which many of you have, go ahead and start writing that up into a cohesive piece. Please don't ask me about length. We're all about strength here. So be concise. Please don't reiterate or be redundant for to get that length in your paper. So really focus on strength and making a point and being concise in your writing. All right, that's a good conclusion to week 3. Great participation on the voice thread. Wonderful additions to the case of Virginia Snow and how we work together as clinicians. I thought that was a brilliant example of interprofessional collaboration to solve a patient case. So that was a wonderful example of how you guys can come together as students and paint that picture. Okay, looking forward to week 4.